Hey YouTube, this is Marie. I know I haven't done an update, but those of you who know me personally or are on my Facebook obviously know that I had some severe complications due to my gastric bypass surgery. And today is my first day home. I was admitted on Thursday of last week again. I had my surgery September the 8th. I didn't feel alright. I wasn't able to keep anything down. I was in a lot of pain. And on the 14th, I started to feel better. 15th, I spent all day in the hospital, here at a local hospital. They wouldn't treat me because they didn't have a bariatric specialist. So they sent me home with a diagnosis of vomiting. When I got home on Thursday, I was in the hospital here all day on Thursday. When I got home, I called my doctor. And my doctor is in Denver, and he actually told me, drive up here, I have a room ready for you. You just need to check in. And I was like, okay. So I went up at about 4, got there about 6, was admitted. That day I had a CAT scan, and I actually had to have I had a hiatal hernia repaired during my surgery. It was too big to ignore, but sometimes the doctors say if it's too big, they leave it because it's not worth fixing. But they did fix mine, and I had some stitches, the dissolvable stitches. And the stitch actually came loose, so some of my intestine had gotten up in there, and it was twisted. So I did have part of that removed because it was dead. So that was painful enough. And as soon as I thought I was getting better, I started having I started vomiting blood, and I started having diarrhea that was just blood every 3 or 4 minutes, and it was coming both ends. Obviously freaked me out. I know I look really pale right now, so if you think I do, I am. I'd rather be pale than blue, though. I did pass out a couple of times because I was dry heaving so much, and I hadn't had anything to eat for over a week, and there was just absolutely nothing to come up. I ended up, when I was vomiting, they sent up a GI specialist, and she said she wanted to do endoscopy. It's when they put the camera down your throat to find out what was going on. If they couldn't find anything upper, then they were going to go lower, the colonoscopy. So I had the camera put down my throat. I did okay with that. Came to find out that one of the staples that was holding my new part of the intestine to my new pouch had come loose and was bleeding. And I also found out that I have 2 ulcers that were just oozing and oozing and oozing. Ulcers take a long time to show up, which is why I was vomiting blood and having bloody stools. It was just pure blood. So they fixed that. I also have a kidney infection. I have kidney stones. I have a bladder infection. I'm really nauseated. It's really hard. I just started being able to keep lactate milk down yesterday without throwing up, so they let me come home. I got home last night about 9 o'clock, but I found out that I have this bacteria called H. pylori, and it's more common in people of race. I am Hispanic, and I don't know, what other races eat, but it's just usually people, Hispanic, Korean, African American. It's ethnic. It's an ethnic kind of bacteria that you get. Some people obviously get it and they just get it, but I've had upset stomach for the past 2 years and never thought to check it. I always thought it was just because I was lactose intolerant, but I found out that I have this bacteria, and this bacteria can actually cause ulcers. So my new pouch has 2 ulcers in it, and it's very painful, and it hurts to eat. I feel like everything gets stuck, even water. And you get this bacteria. It's in your intestine, and it builds up based on the things you eat. Like, we eat goat meat, we eat everything. Being Hispanic, we eat everything that comes from an animal. We literally find everything, something to do with everything. Nothing goes to waste. So I had that bacteria built up in my system for a long time, and when I reconnected my intestine to the new pouch, that bacteria got inside my pouch and caused me the ulcers. So not only did I have a tear, but I have 2 ulcers on top of it. It's a really easy blood test. If you have the antibodies, you can be treated. I'm on triple antibiotics right now. I had to have a blood transfusion also because of all the blood I lost. But I'm so thirsty. I'm sorry. My mouth is just so dry. Sorry, I was just having one of those moments. Anyway, if you're going to have this surgery, I highly recommend, it's not part of the workup, but I think my doctor is going to consider it, because we went through everything, all the medicines that I'm not supposed to have, smoking, drinking, everything. And I quit smoking 4 months ago for this surgery, and I haven't smoked since, honestly. And that's a big factor. Once you have this surgery, I know I've seen a lot of people that have had the surgery and they're like, oh, I'm back smoking again. And they're even smoking on their updates, and I'm thinking, what the hell are you thinking? Do you want to die? I almost died twice. Twice. And they repeated that to me over and over until yesterday when I left, that how lucky I was. I was very sick. I lost a lot of blood. Like I said, I'm on triple antibiotics. There's 3 different antibiotics I have to take 3 times a day. I'm also on this medication called Carafate, and it's a liquid medication. It's an elixir, and it's basically, it covers the lining of your stomach like a band-aid, so that it won't bother your ulcers. So now I have to take that 4 times a day. And I also take Nexium now, and I'm also on Prilosec. And those are all 2 times a day. The antibiotics, that other one is 4 times a day, the Carafate. And then I have liquid pain meds. And I have a patch for nausea. I also have pills for nausea, and I also have dissolvable pills for nausea. And nothing seems to help with the nausea. Right now I'm doing okay. My throat is really dry. I know you can hear it. I'm down 25 pounds. 25 pounds. They weighed me yesterday, and my doctor was actually a little bit in shock that happened. So instead of 3 8-ounce protein shakes, I have to take 4. Because my intestine I had a tear there, my pouch actually got a little bit smaller. So instead of having a 4-ounce pouch, mine's about 3 to 2.5 ounces. So my doctor wants me to have a little bit more protein than normal, because he said he's positive I've lost at least 35 pounds. You know, when you're in the hospital and they pump you full of fluids and stuff, that makes you gain weight. So when he said he's sure that I've lost a tremendous amount of weight, and today is day 14 post-op. So tomorrow's 2 weeks. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks post-op. I go back and see him next Wednesday. I will keep you updated. You know, I'm always really good about my updates. I just couldn't do it. I'm glad I got to do it today. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you so much, Bibas, for helping me out and notifying everybody on what was going on. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all the prayers and get well cards and things from everybody. You guys are awesome. I don't think I could have done this without you. Really couldn't. So yeah, like I said, I really recommend, if you're going to be having gastric bypass surgery, to ask for the blood test for the antibodies for H. pylori. If you have a positive blood test for antibodies, you're likely that you have the H. pylori bacteria. And all they do after that is follow it up with a stool sample. Yeah, gross, right? But they do the blood test first. If it's positive, they do the stool sample, and then you're prescribed medication for 2 or 3 weeks. Mine is 2.5 weeks because I was already on antibiotics while I was hospitalized. So I really, really recommend that. You never know, and you don't want to end up with ulcers because it's already hard to eat after surgery, and this just makes it even harder. It hurts. You feel full. I'm talking like 2 spoonfuls of ice, and I'm absolutely stuffed, and I feel like it doesn't go down. It does go down eventually, but again, my pouch got shrunk because of the tear that I had and where it was, so it kind of healed over. So my opening is actually a little bit smaller also, which sucks. It really does. I was looking forward to starting my pureed diet, which I was supposed to start on Wednesday, but now I'm back to square one. I did the liquid diet in the hospital. I started the full liquid diet yesterday, and I will continue on my full liquid diet until next Wednesday, the 28th, when I go for my follow-up with Dr. Schoen. I hope all is well. I will talk to you soon. TTFN, and take care. Bye-bye.